Today's topic, a 3-year-old beat me at Power Grid. Welcome to TABLEscraps, short discussions about board, card, and tabletop gaming, submitted by the viewing audience and discussed with the viewing audience. Hey everybody, hello and welcome back to another episode of TABLEscraps, the live streaming YouTube show where I discuss a topic about board, card, and tabletop gaming that's been submitted by the live audience with the live audience. And today is an extra special program because I actually have off camera in the gallery, I have a studio audience that's joining me in addition to the live streaming YouTube audience.
Hello.
Yes, they can't see you. There's no reason to wave. They can't. No one can see that. No one can see that either. That's okay. Oh, there you go. One of the reasons why I thought it would be interesting to bring you guys in is because the first topic today is submitted by Tom Green and it involves playing board games with children. Tom says the following. Do you find yourself, quote unquote, throwing the game when introducing young children to a new board game? Is it ever necessary to let a child win? Depending on the age, are there do's and don'ts for the best way to teach them without them becoming discouraged? For example, I went the other extreme when I first showed my young daughter the game of chess, and it was over in just a few moves. She hated it, and she never played again. Tom, that is an excellent question and something that I do have a little bit of experience with because my own daughter, V-Bug, who's currently 10, I have been playing modern board games with her for about 4 years now, since she was about 6. We played things like Chutes and Ladders and Hi-Ho Cherry-O before that, but I remember when she was 6 is when I introduced her to King of Tokyo. And I was really surprised because I thought I'm going to have to, basically play both sides of the game. But I was really surprised that even at 6 years old, she was able to play the game. And, I had to read the cards to her and everything, but she understood the concepts. And I don't think it's just her. I think any child that age, it's surprising how much they pick up and how much they can understand about gaming. But here are a couple of items from my own past experience here. The first thing is about throwing the game. And here's my point of view on throwing the game. I will put on the kid gloves, so to speak, when I'm playing. I won't necessarily throw the game. I don't want the child to feel like they have no challenge and think that everything's going to be easy for them when it comes to gaming. I've wanted V-Bug to get a understanding of losing and dealing with not winning and dealing with challenges. And so I try not to just throw the game. I do play differently when I play with her. I think I've told this story before about when we play Stratego, which we play often, how I started out just placing my tiles completely random with no strategy at all. And then she got better and better to the point where I now actually set up my little armies on my side, and she still beats me about half the time. That's not funny.
Yes, it is.
I think the other side of that is you do need to be aware, though, of how too much at a time can be discouraging for a child. The other example I have is Ascension that V-Bug and I played, where I stripped away a lot of the rules out of Ascension and introduced them slowly one extra layer at a time, and we played that a lot. And then it got to the point where when she was ready to play the full game with all of the rules, I took the kid gloves off and I played a normal game, and she didn't win, didn't make her upset, but she has never asked to play Ascension again because I think I just introduced too much at a time. A little soured the experience for her a little bit. So, V-Bug, do you have any desire to play Ascension again anymore? The card game?
We could play Ascension.
Okay, well, there you go.
I forgot the rules.
You forgot you'd have to relearn the rules. Okay, so it's not like you hate that game now. It's just you've moved on to other things, other bigger and shinier things. Okay, not necessarily throwing the game, but simplifying the game to bring it down to their level can help, so they can still have some sort of engagement and challenge while still having the game be accessible within their own level. That's my thoughts on the topic of gaming with kids and how you kind of approach it with someone who's very young. Let's turn now to the live streaming chat. We're going to start here with a comment by the Lomder. Thank you for joining us, Lomder. It's good to see you in the chat. And the Lomder says to us, I tend to play neutrally against my niece, as she's a pretty smart cookie. I don't know if my second niece would have enough mental fortitude to play classic games with her with no kid gloves on. That's a really good perspective on this, and something I think is important to mention is that every kid is going to be different. And it's something where I think you do need to gauge that on a child-by-child basis. Would you agree?
Yes, very much so.
This is good television.
Woo!
All right, let's move on to a comment by Trevin, who says, with any new player, don't throw the game. That's almost disrespectful. But also, don't play cutthroat. Challenging, but not punishing. I totally agree with that. Challenging, but not punishing. And yeah, even if it's an adult. And I would think, I'm actually glad, wifey, that you're sitting in here, because there are times that I will introduce a new game to you, and you will play as cutthroat as possible back at me, and you'll totally ruin the experience for me. So you need to take Trevin's advice.
Summoner Wars noted.
This is a good time to mention to the studio audience that I have played at least 24 games of Summoner Wars against my wifey, and I have never won a game of Summoner Wars. Ever. I have no idea what that experience feels like. Hope to find out someday. All right, let's continue on to a comment by Toyota Wolf. Says, I don't find myself playing with younglings very often, but I do find myself pulling the punches when playing with my wife or family. But I would never compare them to toddlers or children, honest. My wifey, who actually is listening to this right now, 2 feet away from me.
Playing Splendor
On her phone. Gamers, yes! Woohoo! I know that there's sometimes that my wife will ask me, do you enjoy playing games with me? Because I know that even though I do enjoy playing games with her, I do play different when I play with you. I don't know if I'm more nervous about giving you a good presentation and making you want to like the game, so you'll play it more often. But I do know I find myself playing a little bit differently. And sometimes, I wouldn't say it's pulling punches, but it's definitely trying to accommodate, more aware of making sure you're having a good time, which sometimes can be at the detriment of my own strategy.
Aww.
I don't do it all the time. And when I
just use it to my advantage.
You still win. Even when I don't do it, you still win. So don't think it's any big advantage for you. Jules mentions, my daughter is only 1.5 months old. So there's that. I remember when little V-Bug was 1.5 months old and just waiting for time to go by to when I could introduce her to games. I remember her being 6 months and 1 year, and very first game that little V-Bug played was actually Scrabble. She actually
didn't understand it at all.
Well, yeah, we had a Scrabble game, and you took out the little letter pieces, and you were just playing with the letter pieces. And I remember thinking, I played my first board game with V-Bug. Even though you just sat there and chewed on Scrabble tiles. Well, you were smart enough not to chew on them, which was nice, but you just sat there and made nonsense words out of them. So Jules, even at young ages, there are ways that we can engage. It doesn't have to be board games. I remember making stuffed animal parades with you on the floor. There are ways that, of course, we can engage and gamify different things with our kids and instill that love of gaming in them, even at really young ages. So hopefully that helps. Let's continue on to the next comment from Sasha, who says, while demoing games for indie boards and cards last year at Essen, I encountered some great parents and kid combos. They kept the kids involved without playing the game for them. Oh, excellent point of view there, Sasha. I like that a lot. Very important thing is not to play the game for the kids. Would you agree?
Yes. Very much so. I remember...
I don't like it when people play the game for me.
Oh, really? Forbidden Island.
Oh, yes. We started playing Forbidden Island as a family over a year ago. So 8-9 years old. And we were afraid that it was going to be too much at first. So we made the mistake of kind of playing V-Bug's turns for her a little bit. And it was really frustrating for her. And
the turn where if we had done what she had said.
There was a turn where if we had done, it was the end of the game. And if we had taken her strategy, we would have won. But we thought we were so smart, and we ended up losing. what we've done since then is we've instilled a rule with Forbidden Island is every time we play, we rotate. Someone is the captain. They have the final say on the strategy for the turn. Everyone can make suggestions, but they have final say, and we rotate who is the captain each time. And I have to admit that when V-Bug is the captain, we win just as much, if not sometimes more often. So it's really, and that's amazing and fantastic to see as a parent, realizing that my kids are a lot smarter than you give them credit for when it comes to this type of thing.
She has a strategy that's definitely different from ours.
It is different.
And why I might be a little more offensive, she might be a little more defensive. But it may not be what I'd choose. But yeah, she kills it.
Yep, absolutely. So, so Sasha, that is an excellent point. So thank you for bringing that up. Next comment from Toyota Wolf, who says, I do let my wife sometimes win on first playthroughs, so she doesn't hate a game and doesn't want to play it ever again. But this does prove to be hard to do when doing it with a co-op game. I see you, wifey, I see you shaking your head. Now, what do you have to say in response to that?
I want you to play how you would, because it's possible that it's possible that you'll be showing her strategies, things that will give her good ideas to possibly, employ later on. I like it when people, gloves off.
Uh-huh.
I wouldn't want somebody, unless it's just like a first round of a first game that you've ever played.
Kind of a teaching round.
Exactly. The teaching is something totally different than actually playing.
After the teaching round,
Yeah.
gloves off. Trevin asks, but do you and V-Bug play the basic version of HeroScape? Because that's blasphemy. Trevin, I would agree. And I am proud to say that when I introduced V-Bug to HeroScape earlier this year, nope, we went straight for the standard normal rules. We did not bother with the basic simple version of it. So, yes?
Speaking of HeroScape, when can we play that again?
Hopefully later today or something. That would be awesome because it is a nice day off. So good day for a summer holiday is a great day for HeroScape. So is any other season not holiday. And finally, we're going to get a comment here from Jeff, who says, I wonder if a co-op game like Marvel Legendary would be a good way to introduce children's to games. And I think so. I know that, like Forbidden Island is the one that we use that we just talked about because it is a co-op game. And it really, I think, is a great way to introduce children because you are still competing against something, but you all are working together. So there's still that challenge, there's still that competition, and there's still that sense of shared victory or defeat. You're not going to win every time. And I think that, I think co-op games like Marvel Legendary, Forbidden Island, did you have another one?
Even if they're not co-op games, she'll team up with me or you and beat up on the other parent. I think that actually...
That's allowing the child to beat it. There's always one parent she seems to pick on, too. I can't put my finger on who it is. V-Bug, Toyota asks a question for you. What is V-Bug's favorite game currently that she beats her dad at?
Probably Evolution.
Evolution? There you go, Toyota. Evolution is probably her. You are nasty with those carnivores. You build a good carnivore team.
I go chomp chomp.
So thank you, everyone, for your questions and comments. And if I didn't get a chance to address your specific question or comment, you are not necessarily out of luck because I encourage you to post them either on our Facebook page or in the YouTube comments below, and we'll continue the conversation there. But until next time, I want to remind you also that episodes like this have been made possible by viewers like you who have been supporting Pair of Dice Paradise's Pod Pledge fundraising campaign. Thank you. It does make a difference, and it's really appreciated. But until the next episode that we can get together with or without a studio audience, I have been Chaz Marler from Pair of Dice Paradise. That was not the right outro. That was the wrong outro. That was my outro for the Head in the Clouds segments. Now I'm totally off. With the table scraps to serve. There you go. Until the next episode, I've been Chaz Marler, who, along with the live streaming YouTube audience and our special studio audience, have been serving up some table scraps. Talk to you again soon. and she never played again.
I didn't do that.
No, that's Tom's daughter.
Oh.
Oh, this is going to work really well.